Welcome back to video number 3 in the Hockey Arena video guide. Today we're going to be talking about training and how it applies to, and how important it is, to building a solid, strong team. Now training sort of blends into a little bit into video number 5, your stadium, and I'll briefly touch on that now to start with. Under the team section, let's jump across here, and in the stadium section is where you can upgrade your different parts of the stadium. Now, the reason I'm coming here today quickly is the first area, your training area. The higher that level, the better quality training your players get. So, everything you watch in this video now, remember that it does relate to the quality of your training area. So in video 5 we're going to be coming in here and talking about it in detail, but I just wanted to keep that in mind so that you understand the importance of that. So back under the Players tab, in the second sub-menu along, we have training. Now there are two parts to the training of your players in Hockey Arena. The first part, which is where we are here, shows you your list of players, their attributes, and of course any changes between today and yesterday. So, you know, my 17-year-old rookie here, his passing went from 4 to 5. My defenseman went from 45 to 46. Sometimes I'll jump 2 points in a day. It doesn't happen often, but it can. So that's the initial training part, and that's where you come to see you know, the changes in your players' attributes. Now, this is the page that you'd use if you have an Excel spreadsheet and you have all of your players actually in Excel. A lot of people do that it makes it easier for them to track the players and set up their lines. You come in here every day, you update your Excel spreadsheet based on these little green arrows. The other part, of course, is the schedules. Before you can train anybody, you have to set training schedules. So, you know, for example, my advice with training schedules. Now I'll run you through this. You click Add, and it's going to add a new training schedule, and you call it a name. So we're going to call it just Temp, because I'm going to delete this afterwards. So we give it a name. You come back here, and it's going to load up back to this page. So then you find the one you just created, Temp. You'll notice that it's got everything 0 across the board. So you click on the name, and it's going to take you in here. Now, you can rename it if you like. Say, for example, you wanted to create a training thing for a training schedule for your goalie. So what you do is you might call that goalie. You know, and then these are the different attributes you've got: goalie, defense, offense, shooting, speed, strength, passing, self-control. So your skill 1, goalie, you know, you can set up to 3 skill levels, and then the percentage of training. Now, so for example, if you wanted, you could do goalie 50%, speed 20%. So you could do 50%, speed 25%, and say you wanted to give him defense of 10%. Right, now that adds up to, of course, 85%. Leaves 15% for rest. I always leave 15% left over for rest. Now, that is one way you can set up your lines. You click OK, it'll go back to the page you were on, and you'll see once it loads, you've got Temp, goalie 50, speed 25, defense 10, rest 15. Now, there are 2 arguments you could say as far as training. The first is train. You have your training schedules set to 100% and set your training intensity to 85%. The other recommendation that I go with is actually have your training intensity at 100%, but make sure you leave 15% rest in every training schedule. Technically the outcome should be the same, but it's not. I find the players train better this way. They always stay at peak fitness, and they don't get injured during training as much. So that's my recommendation. Now, you'll notice that what it has created actually goes against what I would normally do. So I'm going to go back in here. What I would do in this case is I would simply have that at 85%, and have these two at 0. It doesn't matter what they are, just at 0. And what that's going to do is, once we go back again, it's going to give you a training schedule for a goalie. Here it is here, a goalie 85%, 0-0, which actually is exactly the same as I already had. Only train one attribute at a time. You can go with more than one, and I did that for the first 6 months I played the game, and I found that my players actually trained better once I changed it. So it's personal preference really. You know, you can go with it, give it a go, but generally speaking, I would recommend you start off doing it this way. So training intensity 100%. Set these, have one for each of the attributes, 85%, and everything else is 0. And then once you've done that, you can go back to the training section, and in here on the right hand side you'll see the schedules that you've created. So you can look at your players, say for example, with a sort by name, and I'll sort by say strength as an example. So we have the lowest strength at the top. Goalies don't need strength, so we can ignore those. We've got my rookie here, has a strength of 0. So say for example, you know, let's train him. So we drop that down to strength. My Yuri Nib, can't say his name. He's currently training on offense, which is at 17. I should probably train him in, say, passing. We'll change that to passing, and you can go through, make your changes, and then of course hit confirm, and that will set your training schedules. An important thing to note, the training schedules only actually apply to the players who are down here who are scratched. If a player actually plays on the team that day, they will train in whatever way they see fit. So even though, for example, this defenseman here trained on passing, I have him set for passing, he improved his defense. And it's because he got ice time and he played the game, that counts towards his training. So the more ice time you give your players, the better. So if you can just have 1 or 2 scratch players and 3 lines, you know, or 4 lines and 1 or 2 scratch players, that's the best way. Try and get them playing as much as you can, and that will actually help them train better. So that's the basic rule of thumb as far as training. The quality of the player, as we discussed in the first video, is going to ensure they do train faster. So, and you'll notice already. Joshua McGee had a high quality. Eric has a high quality. This guy here, not so much, but he also hasn't improved his attribute in a couple of days. This guy here has a high quality. So, high quality players, you'll notice, get a lot more of these little green arrows. So that's where you wanna change this guy to passing. That's where you set your training. An important thing to do, and check it every couple of days. You know, if you have a player set on speed and you come in here and you realise, well, you know, this guy here, for example, he's already set, right? You know, you might find, you know, this guy here, for example, he's got speed and passing of both 5. You know, you've got him on speed at the moment, so you might want to, once he goes to 6, switch that to passing and get his, you know, try and build everything up to about 10. You know, passing, speed, strength, self-control. Really, the goal would be to have them all at 10. But if they're a forwards or a winger, do focus on offense and shooting, because you need that. And I mean, the higher the shooting, the better quality shooter they're going to be. So it goes without saying. So that's training. Tomorrow we are going to come back and we're going to hit the marketplace, which is one of my favourite places in Hockey Arena. I probably spend way too much time on the marketplace. And we'll run through how to find the right player, you know, what kind of price you'd want to play for the right player, and tactics to actually ensure you get the right player. So that's tomorrow. That's the next video. See you then.